Guess it helps if I turn the microphone on. Guess it helps if I turn the microphone on. Oh, welcome world to the Wicked stream. Once again, I know it has been a couple days. Oh, welcome world to the Wicked stream. Once again, I know it has been a couple days. Oh, welcome world to the Wicked stream. Once again, I know it has been a couple days. Oh, that is bad echo. Oh, welcome world to the Wicked stream. Once again, I know it has been a couple days. Oh, that is bad echo. Oh, welcome world to the Wicked stream. Once again, I know it has been a couple days. Oh, that is bad echo. Oh, welcome world to the Wicked stream. Once again, I know it has been a couple days. Oh, that is bad echo. Oh, welcome world to the Wicked stream. Once again, I know it has been a couple days. Give me just a second here. Oh, that is bad echo. Oh, welcome world to the Wicked stream. Once again, I know it has been a couple days. Give me just a second. That is bad echo. Oh, welcome world to the Wicked stream. Once again, I know it has been a couple days. Give me just a second. That is bad echo. Oh, welcome world to the Wicked stream. Once again, I know it has been a couple days. Give me just a second. That is bad echo. Oh, welcome world to the Wicked stream. Once again, I know it has been a couple days. Give me just a second. That is bad echo. Oh, welcome world to the Wicked stream. Once again, I know it has been a couple days. Give me just a second. That is bad echo. Oh, welcome world to the Okay. Let's see if it's echoing terribly. That is a negative, Ghost Rider. We are good. And I will be here answering any and all questions people may have before we get started. Thank you all for watching. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, share it, get it out there, get it known, you know, do your thing. It is only by joining together can we make this channel what I want it to be. But let's get started here. And yes, that is how old this account is. It is a Hotmail address. So today, folks, what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be making a new character, and essentially what I'm going to be going through here is taking you through a leveling guide of what I find to be the fastest for leveling and what I prefer. Everyone's got their own style and way of doing it. I would do one of these, but the rep grind is just intense, and I started just way too late in the Legion to even attempt to do any of that, so okay. We're going to be Horde. And what do I want to make? That is the question. I guess I don't have a moo cow yet. I don't know, I'm very selective with the races I play. So we've got that. I would also like to point out, I do have a lot of heirlooms and stuff you're not going to have access to if you were just starting the game. Don't feel bad. I am going to have a bit of advantage and my levels are going to be a little higher. But I know how to do the math and let you know exactly what level you'll be at the end of each zone. And we'll be probably doing this in 3 or 4 parts because it takes me about 4 days to get from 1 to 110. Being that after level 90, I'm not going to pay to upgrade heirlooms to use all the way to 110. It's not necessary. But we are going to be a warlock. I guess the next thing I have to figure out is which race I want to be. And we're probably going to go with an undead. Now, you can be whatever race you like. I do the same areas for every race. I'm just very particular, I guess you could say, in how I level. Let's go Deathwing style Iron Jaw, or we can go Jawless. Sure, we'll go Jawless. Ah, there we go. That works. So this one's not going to be in my guild or anything. It's just a character I'm making specifically for this. I figured I may as well make something I don't have. And these aren't all my characters. I play on many different servers. My battle tag is Raven Thy Dark 1501. Add me if you'd like. Love to play together with people. Yes, I want to cancel the cinematic. Let me take some time real quick and get all my stuff set up here. Gotta get woken up first. You're also going to notice that my set doesn't match. Okay. So that's all good. We got that. It's always good before you get started to set up your key bindings. Go into your interface, set up your auto loot. If you want auto loot on, I always do because I run a lot of dungeons and you always want to loot everything you can. More gold, better to play. So we got here all that set up. Okay, and you can see I have my key bindings already pre-set up for all my characters. I use the same thing. I don't vary from it. And I rarely ever use any of my racials unless, you know, like Will of the Forsaken. I use it in PvP quite often. That is if it's still allowed. I'm not even quite sure on that one. So just so we can do some math here, for those of you wondering how this will work and how I'm going to do the leveling and all that, we are the patient. So I've got a total of 40% bonus experience, so I will take into account you will be receiving 40% less and about where your experience will be setting at what level you will potentially be at when you get done with each zone if you follow my leveling method. So we're going to go down here, pick up the twine and the embalming fluid. And as you see, you do get a quest tracker up here. Really the only mods I use are like We Don't Wipe,
BC bars, and a bunch of raid mods. If you'd like a full list real quick of the add-ons I use, here it all is. I have auto repair, Atlas loot. I use bigwigs and DVM running at both times. LUI has not been updated, and it will not be updated for Battle for Azeroth as far as I know. So I've just been running without it. I really love LVUI. I really hope they do update it. I like my bar mods. I like being able to mess with everything and make it my own. So after you get done, you're going to turn the quest in to Undertaker Mordo here. And next we are going to kill 6 mindless zombies. Now please note, because I have heirlooms, I will be choosing different gear as there are certain pieces I just don't need. That doesn't necessarily mean that's how you want to do it. It's just how I am going to be doing it for this video because I don't need the gear. And as you can see, we got a Death Knight here doing the undead stuff because, well, why not? Hey buddy, what's up? Oh, I forgot to pick up a quest. So I'll do that sometimes, but it's very important, and it helps with your leveling to pick up all the quests possible in the area at once and do them all at once and turn them in for a big chunk of experience. As opposed to going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it's just something I picked up from years of playing WoW, is doing it all in one big chunk. You may want to enjoy the lore a little more and spread it out. If you want to read anything these guys say, by the way, pause the video. I know what they say. I've done these quests hundreds of times. I am not going to sit here and read them all to you. That is one of the joys of playing the game, is reading the lore yourself and getting into it. And unfortunately, at low levels, you don't have a whole lot of spells. I mean, I don't even have my imp yet, so it kind of goes as you level up, and your spec we'll get more into as we go. I play many different classes. I main 3 different classes with different specs that I switch in between depending on what is needed at that point in time. But as you see, instead of going back and forth and picking up one quest at a time, I can now turn in both quests, get the new ones, and that's a good chunk of XP down. So I'm receiving 40% more experience, so you would be receiving 100 experiences where I'm receiving 140. And that's how you can pretty much do your math at this point and figure out where you're going to be sitting. I mean, you should barely be level 2 right now, and I'm going to be a good halfway into it. You can also press shift if you have gear equipped to check out what gear would be better. If it is an improvement, how much of an improvement, the stat changes, what you're going to lose, what you're going to gain. And we'll get more into that as we go into this here. I do have some videos that I'm going to be uploading with my guild and guild kills. We're doing Mythic Burning Throne, and me and a couple other my guild mates here are going to be burning through Battle for Azeroth as quick as possible, getting videos up and getting stuff like that going. So if you ever see a gray question mark, that means they're in a building. Or a gray exclamation point question mark, it means they're in a building, and you gotta go in here, talk to Shadow Priest Sarvis, and we're gonna go over here. And you can see here, things that your quest objectives will either have yellow arrows over them, or mobs that are important to your quest will have this yellow ring around the bottom. So we're going to go through this, kill our 8 Scourge, pick up our corpses. Darnell, be a good slave and pick up these corpses for me, would you? I just don't have it in me to carry them right now. Be a good lad. I'm also in a lot of these areas. Something they added is mass looting, so like I don't have to click each body in particular. I will get all my kills I need and then loot for the most part. Once again, everyone has their own play style. This is just how I do it. I go for efficiency and quickness. Now, I will also be doing this for an Alliance character as well, just because there's some people who like Horde, there's some people who like Alliance, and I'll try to make it a base class like the Undead, where you're not in a zoned area. For some reason, right now, a lot of the zoned areas are lagging out and just not working for Goblin and Worgen in particular. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they just haven't been updating it and maintaining it because of everything they're doing for the new expansion coming out. But it's one of those, we'll get into it when we get into it. So we got our corpses, we got our Scourge killed. We're going to go over here, see Saltane, and go back in here. And we should get another set of quests. You really want to make sure as well that you're equipping any and all upgrades as you get them. As you can see, there are different players in the game right now. And I really like that they've added mailbox to starting areas like this because, you know, you may want to send gold if you're leveling alts. Hopefully if you're leveling alts, you're not watching this video. And if you are, you're just trying to get some general information on how to level a little faster. Luckily, I've been playing WoW since vanilla, and I've just become very used to how to level and how to do it fast, because the more alts you have, if you're a collector like I am, wanting mounts and stuff like that, you want to level as many as possible to get as many dungeon runs in as possible. And I'll show you essentially what a dungeon run is here in a later video. And for some reason, Lillian is not spawning, which happens sometimes. There she is. She's in a different spot this time. So she'll always be in this house. She's either going to be over here in the corner. I do believe she might spawn right here in the corner, but 99% of the time, she's going to be up here in this room, in this corner right here, hiding. And there she goes up here, and I do believe you can talk to her again, get some more lore. And you're going to go back over here, turn in this quest, pick up your next set. Now this is something I have that you guys aren't going to have until level 20. I have a chauffeur mount. It's from buying heirlooms. It's an achievement. As you can see here, I do a lot of achievements. Just because I'm one of those completionists, I try to get as much done as possible. So we're going to go over here, talk to this Executor RN. And right here you need Dustbat Wings and Scavenger Paws, and these scavengers are a pain in the ass. They run really fast and they evade, especially if they're chasing something down. Most of the time you can just... Ooh, look, a ding. anyway, as I was saying, most of the time it's best to just wait until they're idle like this. Now, as a caster, you do want to get as much range between you and your target as possible. You are extremely squishy. And as you'll see, I'll link my dots with my cast, so that way I'm getting as much DPS out as possible. You want to get as many spells on as possible if you're a ranged, cloth-wearing caster. Just because, and I'll show you here in a second, just how bad of damage you'll actually take. So we're going to throw a dot on that to get aggro. And as you can see, these things actually do a bit of damage. Now I have health regen from my heirlooms going, but once again, it's one of those, you want to maintain as much distance as possible, especially since the closer you are and the more they hit you, the longer your casts take, and that's just no bueno. Luckily now with the new zones, if you go here to the adventure guide whenever it pops up, all the zones scale now, so you can pretty much level wherever you want, whenever you want, as long as it's within the level areas. Now 1 through 60 is Kalmador and Eastern Kingdoms, and then, well, technically 1 to 58, best just to go the full 60, get it done and over with. Before moving on, and then you can choose either Wrath of the Lich King and Burning Crusade for your 60 to 80 area. I personally do not like the Burning Crusade area. I never have. It's very, very long and drawn out and just annoying to play through. Another thing you'll be doing that I'm not doing is walking, which takes a little longer to get around. This is one of those luxury items I got because, well, I bought a bunch of heirlooms. Because I have fully intended to make more alts, at least the characters I don't have yet. And especially with the allied races, I don't care much for the High Mountain and all that. There's plenty of those videos up. The two races I am very interested, though, are the Zandalarian Trolls and the Iron Dwarfs. And I will be having videos of all that stuff going through. I will have a 110 Alliance and a 120 Alliance once the new game comes out. So that way we can do both races on here and you can see what the starting area is like, how it's done, and all that fun stuff. Another thing, starting out, it may be very tempting to go to a low population server. My best experience, even when I first started the game, start on a very high population server, because then you have more people that will help you and answer questions and stuff you need. I'm not going to play the race game here. Both sides are equally as annoying and obnoxious as they can possibly be. But 90% of the time you ask people questions. If you go /1, that gives you your general chat. And you can talk to anyone in the general area that you're in, and they can answer questions you have and give you tips and tricks if you need it. Another thing you can do is like /who, and we'll do that here real quick. And you can see everyone playing a Warlock right now. If you see someone in a raid, don't bug them. That's just bad etiquette. But, you know, ask someone around your level range. See if they can give you any tips and tricks on your class that you're playing. And it's always best to make a couple at start if you're just starting out on the game. You never really know what you want to play until you've played a couple and find that one that really sits. I mainly tank, It's my favorite thing to do. A lot of my videos I'll be running my rogue because, well, the guild needs DPS, and I'm one of those, if it's what you need, it's what you're going to get. I can't always run Malice as much as I'd like to. Malice is my main character. I tank. It's what I do. I'm not the best DPS in the world, but I'm not the worst, and I'll show you some of my damage meters from guild kills and stuff like that once we get to those videos. And Tuesday I should be doing a heroic Burning Throne run. Same with Wednesday and all that fun stuff. And also, if any of you would like to play on my server, my main servers are Ravenholt, which is a PvP RP server, and Velen, which is my main raiding server. I do have guilds I play with on both. Oh my god, my imp. Come to me, my minion. But if you would like invites to the guild, my guild on Velen is very strict for our rating standards. Doesn't mean we're not necessarily willing to help you gear up, as long as you are ready and available and always wanting to join in. Our guild name is Care Bears Club. Let me see if anyone's online right now. I might actually put my character in the guild just because, and give them a little bit of a heads up saying what this character's about. Who's online right now? Let's see. Sev is in a raid. None of the officers are on right now. At least none that can help me with what I need to get in this alt into the guild. I'll just wait for Scar to get on. Scarborough is our guild master. I hate when it does that. And he's always happy to help and stuff like that. We're all a very helpful group. These are people I've been playing with since Wrath of the Lich King. And hopefully you all are following what I'm doing here in the quest. If you're not, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I really don't. And once we hit level 10 here, I'll start getting into how talents work, and this is going to be a full walkthrough. I'm not going to leave anything out. I want as many new players getting into WoW as possible. This is what started me in hardcore gaming and MLG gaming. I actually started playing EverQuest when I was a wee lad with my mother. And it's what ignited my passion for MMORPGs and the whole gaming aspect. You know, it's funny, all these used to be Scarlet Crusaders back in vanilla. So it's really funny to know certain things that a lot of you who are just getting into it aren't going to have the chance to know. Really do. I also move with my mouse a lot. It's just habit from tanking. Not necessarily how you have to play. You can use WASD or the arrow keys. I just like the control of using my mouse. And when you have a really nice mouse like these, it's really easy and really convenient to use your mouse for most of your movements. You'll see here the M buttons are actually my mouse binding keys, and I use those for my movement. mainly. I think on my warlock, it's actually going to be my main 2 pet summons. So now we're going to move on to the next area, the Trisfall Glades. We are officially done with the starting area. So, looking at 40% extra XP, you should be level 5 when you leave. You will be about right here in your XP though. Also depending on how much you want to sit here and kill. And there are different methods for leveling. You may want to be one of those people who just like to kill shit instead of questing. That's your opinion. That's your choice. I am showing you the quickest way possible to level. I'm not telling you in any way, shape, or form how you have to play the game. Oh, so if you're walking, this is an extremely, extremely long run on foot. I am so glad I have my heirloom bike. It makes things so much simpler. So right here, we are going to pick up all these quests and make sure you go upstairs. There is another quest. And talk to the lonely man up here. He just wants a pet murloc. You're going to help him get a pet murloc. Because McGurgle. I too even have a pet murloc. Where is he? Where's Mercaplo? Sorry, I have so many pets. It's really hard to find an individual one. There he is. Okay, so we're going to throw Mercaplo down here. Mercaplo, Choppy. See, even I have a pet murloc. They make great companions. They McGurgle at you. So your collection tab here is where all your mounts are going to be, and your heirlooms and stuff like that once you get further into the game and you start collecting things like that. Yes, die. That is your job. So we're going to kill these farmers. And I will have edited down videos as well. The stream is mainly, so those of you who are new can watch the stream and follow along if that's what you so want to do. Run the game in window mode and have the stream running right next to it so you can follow step for step what I'm doing. I will also have condensed down videos where I essentially take you through the area and just show you where I prefer to do my leveling and about when I leave the zone. Most of these in the early areas, I will just stay and finish the whole zone, and I'll show you what that means here in just a second once I'm done killing this thing. Gotta remember to put my dots up. So it's not here right now. It will be momentarily once I get into Brill, which is the next area. Go Cuzbiz, or Quizbiz, whatever your name is. You cannot rename these either. I do believe if I resummon it, it will have a different name this time. Oh no, they made the names lock. Alright, my minion's name is forever Quizbiz. Goodbye. And as you see, your pet levels up with you, so you never have to worry about your pet being a lower level. And once again, folks, if you hear something in the background, it's my wife. I know most of you have not achieved or even know what girlfriend standard is being in the gaming community as a really old joke. But I am married, and as such, my wife does talk occasionally to me. You know, wife does need attention. As those of us in WoW call it, it's wife aggro. And once we actually start running dungeons and stuff, we'll get into what aggro is and all that fun stuff. To the Murlocs. I would also like to point out, and as you can see here, there are a lot of people who help out everybody in the game. It's a very well-rounded community. You're never going to have just a bunch of assholes. Well, depending on the day you log in, that might change. Hello, Murloc. Come with me. Now, I cannot use my mount for this because you cannot lose him. As you can see here, it says returned. If you lose him, you're kind of fucked, and things will attack him. So make sure you're watching your Murloc. Another reason I play on Velen is you do get people like this that are completely awesome. So we're going to run back to Calston Estate and pick up our next set of quests, and then we'll get into Brill. So this is your spell book. Now that I got the demon, this is essentially, it'll list all your demons to summon right here. And I do believe I'm going to go Demonology. Just because I really like all the different summons for Warlocks. And I just about ran right past that, so let's get turn around here. But this is where you go to see all your spells, and when you start out you can only select the one specialization, which is Affliction. It's what it starts you at. Affliction is nice and well-rounded for leveling. It gives you a lot of heals and a lot of stuff like that. I'm just an experienced player, and I like doing a lot of burst damage and getting things killed quickly. I have no time for healing. If I need to, I'll cannibalize something. Dying is also a part of WoW. It happens. You're never going to run through and not die. Even on my tank, I overjudge things and I die. Look, I brought you a Murloc. Come here, Murloc. And as you can see, he named him Speckle. No, he's not so lonely. So next up, we have Varieties of Spice of Life and the Scarlet Palisade. Scarlet Crusade is going to be a lot in the undead area. You'll learn more about the Scarlet Crusade as we go on, and if you do some more research on them and stuff like that. Oh, hello, Pond. I must pick things in the water. All undeads can also breathe underwater, and your mounts work underwater. And you neither go faster or slower when you're underwater. It's all the same thing unless you're like a shaman or something that has the ability to swim faster. Druids have a travel form that is extremely fast underwater. There's mounts you can get to travel faster underwater. None of which I have at the moment, so it is what it is. But the only one I can use right now is my chauffeur until level 20, because that's when the riding skill unlocks. And I don't know if you still have to train it, or exactly what's going to go on with that. I think the first one's given. No, you have to train it, but it's like only 90 gold or something, 90 silver or something like that. It's really cheap, really easy to get. I mean, I have maxed out epic flying on 5 characters, and that's 10 grand each to get the flying. So we'll get more into gold farming and stuff later, and how you can farm gold really fast and really easy, and transmogs and stuff like that. As we get further into the game here. I wonder, can I transmog this damn staff? Hey, look, I can. Anything cool? Oh, nope, I can't use any of my cool ones until level 80. Sadness. That's okay. I really should go through on my mage and get the older transmogs. I guess that's one's cool. It has flowers. Anyway, onward. And excuse me just a minute here. I don't know if it's going to affect your ability to see me at all, but actually I can tell you right now. No, can still see. All good. Sorry, that bright, my light blinds me. It's hard to see. As it stands, I need glasses, and I'm too stubborn to get glasses. Also, don't be afraid to kill shit as you're out doing your quests. It is extra XP, and it gets things out of the way that might potentially try to kill you, so on and so forth. Good thing all the way around. I don't know why I came down here. Now I gotta swim all the way around the beach. Or actually, I can get up right here. By the way, for those of you starting out, M is your map key. It brings up the big map. You also have your mini map up here that assists you in finding anything you need. And this is how you can track everything and stuff like that. Okay, Murky, that's enough setting me on fire. What's your problem, bro? What's your problem? Bye-bye. And I don't know if that's a bug. It shouldn't be saying it's ready to be captured after you turn that quest in. Now we gotta get some sea cucumbers. And as you can see, they actually move. Some of them are stationary, some of them move. They are sea cucumbers. If you're doing this area on a different race, you need to pay attention to your breath, or you will die. These quests are designed with the idea of undead can breathe underwater in mind. And you will have to do them to do this area on any other character. And I will eventually go in and make one that doesn't start in Kalmador. Actually, I think I'm in the Eastern Kingdoms, yeah. one that starts here and show you how to get over here if you so wish to come level in this area. Because not everyone likes to play an undead. You might want to play an orc, you may want to be a tauren, you might want to be a troll, you might want to be a goblin that starts out in its completely own area. So, you know, the choice is yours. Also, for any of those getting into the game right now, I highly suggest getting Battle for Azeroth. Just get it out of the way. It will be out here very soon, and you may as well have it and keep it going. Now, WoW does cost real money at $15 a month, but you can pay for game time with gold. It is an insane amount of gold, but I will show you a good way to make a lot of gold really quick. And it is very time consuming. I'm not saying it's going to be fun. Farming is probably one of the most boring parts of WoW, but it is what it is. I actually enjoy farming. I like going back and doing the old raids that took me hours to clear in 10-15 minutes. And especially if you were new to the game and you never got to play any of those old raids, it's really fun to go back and play those raids and have that ability to look around and see what's going on. As you saw, I just picked up a quest item off a mob. It gave me a quest. Whenever that happens, you want to make sure you do accept the quest. And if you forget to accept the quest, you can always go here and right-click it, and it will begin the quest for you. So you can see here when you get hit that it does add 0.2 seconds to your cast time, which is actually, in a life and death situation, a lot of time to have to spend casting, especially when your casts are already at 1:97. So that makes it, or 1.97 seconds, so that makes it a 2-second cast, which is just insanely long amount of time to be casting something. This undead is in denial. I will let you watch this RP thing here just because it's kind of funny. And that was that little RP event there. You'll get more from Lillian here as we go through Grill and all that. And I will intentionally take fall damage because I just don't care. Heirlooms are indestructible. You don't have to repair them. Other gear you do have to repair. Repair bills are a very real thing in WoW. Realize the more you die, the more you're going to have to spend on repairs, the less money you'll have. So it's a really good idea to just keep a good eye on your repairs and stuff like that, and make sure you're not getting hit too much and not dying. Unfortunately, with a melee class, that is kind of the risk you take, is you run extremely high repair bills, and as you get more higher level gear, the more it will cost to repair. I think right now on my characters, it is about a $500 repair bill. If I'm full yellow, damn near broken gear. Okay. So now we have to feed you. And this is funny. You kill things as an undead. That's like the whole premise behind it, is the undead try to find ways to make more undead because they cannot procreate. And it's always a good idea, after you do quite a few quests, go through, sell whatever you don't need. And if you do accidentally sell something, there is a buyback tab. So, keep that in mind. Okay, Gordo, let's farm your plants so we can get to the next area. Some of these quests, it'll completely depend on the RNG as to how quickly you'll get it done. I've had times where I've done the same quest with 3 different characters. One got it done in a couple seconds because it was just that good of an RNG. Some of them took me quite a few hours. It all depends on the RNG. There's nothing you can do about it. It's one of those you learn to live with the things. That is one big turtle skull. You know, I don't remember there ever being a giant turtle here in Trisfog Waves, but apparently one died in this crater of a lake. Alrighty, now we are off to Brill. Gotta stop here at Cold Hearth real quick. So as you can see, there's a repair vendor in this building to help you along your way. And you can also set your map to find whatever you may need. Having repair up if you're new is really good, because then you know where you can go repair your gear. So we're going to do these 2 quests real quick. And as you can see, this also sends you to Brill. This is one of those loot quests, and it's a 100% drop rate on these items. I do believe 100%. Yeah, so it won't take you very long to do. So if you're wondering how I'm selecting things, you press tab to target in WoW, and I targeted the wrong thing, which happens occasionally. So most of the time you'll go back to where you picked up the quest to turn it in. There are a couple like this one that intentionally sends you to your new area. And this one, it even says report to Severin in Brill. And we ding again. Oh look. Life tap. Life tap is a very important spell as a warlock. If you ever run out of mana, you can just tap your life, get mana back. Very, very useful. Whew. I'm sorry about the yawning. I'm just waking up here. Well, unfortunately, I'm at that age where I've had a long day and I needed a nap. And there are a lot of quests you just will not get doing other races in this area. It's just one of those things that some quests are specific to the race and what you're doing. And this is going to send us to the Undercity, so let me turn in this quest real quick so we can max out our XP again. That's right, I gotta go to the Undercity. Why am I running? Fly. Always fly if you can. So if you ever need to cover vast distances, like say you're trying to get down here and you're over here in Brill, always talk to your flight master. Pick up a flight. Get on your way. They are set at a set speed, but you do not have to control it. It is on a set path. Oh, I need more energy drinks. And this is one of the many main hubs in the game, is the main cities. This one's called Undercity. There's also Orgrimmar, Thunderbluff. I forget what the Goblin area is called, and Silverman. And in your cities you will find trainers for professions, you will find auction houses, and anything else you might need, and your bank. And I'm going to take some time real quick to show you all of that. As we are here, this is where it sent us. I don't really do these quests. Right now you see these blue ones. There's an event going on. It's the Valentine's Day event. And here in a few hours I'll do a video showing you the runs. This is your bank. You can store things here. You can also purchase bag slots, so you can increase the storage in your bank, and you can also specifically buy a bank for crafting materials, which we'll get into with professions when I pick them up here. I really shouldn't have been selling cloth. So these are your auctioneers. This is your auction house. You can place auctions up. You you can bid on things. You can find, let's say you want a new staff. You can find whatever you may need here. Really cool stuff. You can get bags. And as you can see, the price goes up as the higher rarity and level it is. These are your guards. They will show you where everything is. All you gotta do is ask them. Like, say, we're gonna do our professions real quick. I need the enchanting trainer. And this flag is Undercity Enchanting Trainer. So we're gonna go out here and pick up our professions. Your professions you really want to be based around your class unless you're doing an alt and you're just doing a profession because you want it. But we go here to our enchanting trainer and train to enchanting. Alrighty. And where's tailoring? I know it's here somewhere. Herbalism. Okay, I can talk to the guard. I never remember where everything is. I used to remember, but since everything has been switched around the way it has, it's really hard to remember where everything got put. With Cataclysm, a lot of things got changed. So, there are different types of professions. There are your gathering professions, such as skinning, mining, and herbalism. Your secondary professions, which you can have all of them, which are fishing, first aid, and cooking, and archaeology. And there's your crafting, which is alchemy, blacksmithing, engineering, inscription, jewel crafting, leatherworking, and tailoring. Enchanting is kind of its own profession class. It does count as a main profession. You can only have one, or you can only have two of them. And to get to them, you open your spellbook, and these are your professions. And by the way, every time you re-roll your profession, you start over. So you really want to make sure that profession is the one you want for the class you're playing. And the only reason I'm taking enchanting and tailoring on this is A, it's a cloth wearer, so tailoring, of course, makes cloth gear. And enchanting because I don't have an enchanter. I have every other one. And these do cost money to train. But that takes you through your general rundown of professions and stuff like that. And you can always take your professions and stick them here on your hotbar anywhere you like, so they are in easy access. And I can actually make stuff, so I'll show you how this works. Some of them require certain objects to be around. Tailoring is one of those ones you can just do anywhere. And then you have the stuff you can craft, and your profession goes up in level as you craft more stuff. But getting back into what we were sent here for was a quest. Take me back to Brill. So normally it costs money to use the Flight Master. These first 2 times you use it, it is free because it is part of a quest.
It's essentially your introduction to your main city and all that fun stuff. I guess I should see if there's any comments on the video so I can answer any questions. And I do use my phone to answer comments and stuff like that just because it is easier than sitting here and tabbing in and out of the game. And I really don't like running it in windowed mode because it does lower the performance of the game a little. I like my frame rates as high as possible. It's also the reason why I don't run it on max settings is because I do not want to burn out the game. Or, not the game. I don't want to burn out my video cards and stuff like that. Parts are expensive for computers. And you'll see in raids that it doesn't matter what I do. There just seems to be issues right now that cause frame rates to drop dramatically. Especially on loading zones for some reason. So this is one of those ones, the Darkhound Blood, that is a random drop chance off the mod. It is not guaranteed. It could take you 10 minutes, it can take you an hour. I do think there are buffers in place that will prevent it from taking that long now. But back in vanilla, that was one of those quests that you tried to avoid at all costs because it was just not fun. Wow, I'm 2 for 2. I feel lucky. Kill the camera for a couple minutes. here in a level. Oh wait, I gotta do the quest real quick. Gotta get more of the hallowed blood, and then go kill some scarlets. See, not 100% drop rate. I wondered when it was going to pull that. I've never been lucky enough to get 5 for 5 on this quest. And if you are, good for you, because it's one of those hellacious things. And by the way, apologies if the sound from my television is coming through. I tend to multitask and play games and watch things on TV at the same time. So this is your kind of your introduction with this quest to specific mob killing quests. Most of them up to this point has just been generic kill certain kinds of mobs. These ones are specifically kill 3 missionaries and kill 3 zealots, and a lot more of them will be specific like that as we go on. So now I have to go. And so from here, there are 2 quests to pick up. I am kind of concerned. There should be a random quest that spawns as you're doing this, but it has yet to show up. That's very odd. Very odd indeed. But we need to go pick up Escape from Gilneas real quick. Maybe that's it for Undead. I don't know, normally I'm like a troll or something when I come through here. And the mob just kind of runs up to you and instigates the quest line. Let me try killing something real quick, see if that makes it spawn. So essentially what I'm doing right now is just trying to force this quest to spawn itself. Where are ya? Come on, you know you want to spawn yourself. I've ever had this much issue getting this guy to appear. It might also be I'm not high enough level for that quest to appear yet, so let's see if I can game here real quick. This really is going to take a minute. Most of the time, that's where I get them to spawn, is, well, in Brill, because that's where the quest is going to take you. And no, I am not looting stuff. I got plenty of gold. If this character needs gold, you should always loot everything, though, if you're starting out, because you're going to need the money. So as you can see, we actually ran out of mana, so I'm going to life tap and get my mana back. Warlock spells cost a lot of mana. I think that's just kind of how their class is designed. I don't really think it's an issue once you start getting to higher levels. There we go, level 10. And now we get into your talents. So you have Affliction, you have Demonology, and you have Destruction. And I think we're going to stay with Affliction just for now. I will test out everything on DPS output. Oh look, the pet bar finally appeared. Okay, so normally this mob will spawn out here around Tristfall, or around Brill. I've never really had them spawn anywhere else. So I guess we're just going to have to kind of run around here and hope for the best. Oh, there he is. So yeah, it was level 10 to get him to spawn, and you just kind of got to run around Brill for a second. And that's Silver Pine, which is where we'll go after we finish Brill. Well, Tristfall Glades, I should say. And then this is your quest to get to Silver Pine. So, time to kill some Worgen. And as a Warlock, you can just pretty much throw dots on anything and kill it. Dots are damage over time spells. It's just abbreviated. So essentially what you're looking for when you're looking for these organs are, you'll see poofs of dust walking in the ground with nothing there, like over here. And you gotta get kind of close to make them appear. Unless you have a sense stealth. Hey, look, I have the pet bar now. So, this is where you'll find all your pet skills in with your spells. All nice and tidy like. I don't know why. So, this is what I wanted to show you. Most of the time I'll do an area until I finish the storyline progress for it. You don't have to, it's just how I do it. I know how much experience I'm going to get doing which area, and so on and so forth. And if you do it right, by the time you leave Trisfall Glades, you should be level 20. And by the time I leave Silver Pine and I'm completely done with it, I'm normally level 40, 45. That's not to say you will be, as I am using heirlooms. Okay. So what we're going to do here is run around, throw up a bunch of dots on shit. And the reason I'm rounding up big groups of these is the embalming ichor is like the Plaguehound blood. It's got a really shitty drop rate. And if you are deciding you want to play a warlock, always keep your dots up as much as possible. Those are your main damage. This is kind of why I'm running Affliction for right now, is just simply the damage. Yes, beat me up, go right ahead. Oh, look, I got all the ichors. And as an undead, if you run low on health, just eat a corpse. Because while you are undead, it makes sense to eat a corpse. Great robbers, that's right this way. I gotta get more of this doom weed. Alright, man. Where are you going? So, If you're wondering why I'm constantly casting Agony, it stacks. As you can tell. The more stacks it has, the more damage it does, maxing out at 6 stacks. That was a long quest. Let's see, industrial Calm down. You'll have to talk to the judge about that on Monday. Monday?
Bring me that fresh water and take this one out. There it is. We told you to come back on Monday and talk to the judge.
Well, I'm not saying that to you. Not right.
Talk to the judge. You're not allowed to bail her out.
I'll be lost.
You can.
Hey, boy. Come on.
What's that? You do.
By the way, these are innkeepers. So you can choose to make inns your homes, which you can hearth to, which we will get to in just a second. Wait, no, I need that for enchanting. Give it back. And I think you're going to have to do this for each one of the essences you picked up. I don't know if they changed that. Just so you can see what I mean by hearthing. So when you click the hearthstone, it doesn't matter how far away you are. It takes you back to the innkeeper. So always a good thing to set your binding wherever you may be questing at that point in time when you're max level, wherever you want your hub to be. So when we pick up, we'll be going back up to the mills because there's another quest up there for some reason. And going to the bulwark and continuing on with our quest. I'm going to sit here, level up the professions a little. But for now, you all have a good one. Peace.